What's up, everybody? You're very welcome along to this impromptu Anfield agenda chat. I just wanted to really talk around the whole Mohamed Salah situation and what's going on with him now at the club. So the reason that this came to the forefront of my mind was I was reading an article the other day that suggested that Liverpool are more concerned about extending the contracts of Fabinho and Virgil van Dijk, and they aren't as worried at this particular moment in time of sitting down with Mohamed Salah and his representatives about extending a stay at the club. And that just got me to thinking around the whole Mohamed Salah bubble in the Liverpool universe. So let me just start off by saying every Liverpool fan that I've ever come across absolutely idolises Mohamed Salah. But for some reason, if in any way a Liverpool fan, myself or otherwise, are in any way critical of Mohamed Salah, it seems to be followed by this avalanche, and some of it quite spiteful and some of it hateful. And I think a lot of this comes from the fact that we're in a world right now where it's not just people following clubs anymore. So let's look at Mo as an example. Mohamed Salah is an Egyptian, a proud Muslim, a proud family man, and a proud ambassador for his country and the sport that we all love. But sometimes in this day and age, we have people that are supporters of players and not clubs. And I'm not saying that that's right or that's wrong. Everybody has the right to enjoy this sport in whatever way that they like. But I've never, in my whole time supporting the club, seen the likes of the whole Mohamed Salah situation and how it can divide Liverpool fans and seeming Liverpool fans. And by that I mean, if let's say I'm critical of Mohamed Salah in a performance, I will get everything ranging from what about the other front two to he's our top goal scorer to some people, and I genuinely mean this, some people have said that people are even critical of him just because of his name or where he comes from. And I want to just shoot that down because that's complete garbage. All of us football fans, Liverpool family and the football family in general, it's a worldwide sport. We always welcome people to the game from all different races, religions, sexual orientations and background because it's the sport that we all love. It's the beautiful sport that brings people together. So I don't like it when there's this undertone of people who seem to think it's not okay to be in any way critical of X, Y or Z player because you have to then say, well, what about another player? And the reason I'm bringing this up is I think it's fair to say that in the last, let's say maybe 3 games, Mohamed Salah hasn't been at his brilliant best. And at his best, his level is phenomenal. And that's okay to say. Same way it was okay for people to be asking questions when Sadio Mane was in the goal-scoring drought. Or when Bobby Firmino wasn't living up to the high standards that he'd set himself. And the reason I just want to bring this to the fore is I don't like the bitterness and I don't like the hatred that has been drawn towards each other from a sport that we're all together to love, a sport that we all love. Whether you're a fan of Mohamed Salah or whether you're a fan of Liverpool or Mohamed Salah because he's at Liverpool, I just want people out there to stop with the whole bitterness. You're all right to be critical of somebody. It's okay for a Liverpool fan to come on and criticise Jurgen Klopp. Doesn't mean we don't want him at the club. It just means that maybe he's made one wrong decision. And the whole Mohamed Salah stuff has really gotten under my skin because I don't like people playing the hatred card. It really drives me mad. Mohamed Salah is one of the most loving human beings you'll ever come across. People that claim to be representing his best interests in social media and claim to have his back because of where he's from or because of his religion, I find that they often use that as a shield then to be hateful or spiteful towards anybody who is in any way critical of that person. It's a strange scenario, and I have to say in my entire time supporting Liverpool Football Club, it's not one that I've ever really come across before that's had this same divide. I only really noticed it, as I said, recently, and there's always been this thing about some certain sections of Liverpool fan base trying to create this rivalry between Mane and Salah, or that they don't get on. That's not the case, and Jurgen Klopp wouldn't have that at the club. Sadio Mane and Mohamed Salah are 2 top tier footballers, and yes, they both go for goal scoring records, and yes, they both may be captains of their national team, or I'm not even sure actually if that is the case in Mane's situation with Senegal, but you know, the figures, the forefront of their national teams and proud representatives of their country and of African football, and that's great. They should be. They're talented footballers. But don't try and pit them against each other. To Liverpool fans out there, whether you're a Mohamed Salah Liverpool fan, a Sadio Mane Liverpool fan, or a Liverpool fan like me who's a fan of the club and the badge, just remember, they're at our club. we want the best interest for all of them. We want to see Sadio doing well. We want to see Mo doing well. So we're already at a time now where we're fighting for the league title. We're fighting injuries. The world's fighting COVID. And people are fighting each other. We don't want that. We don't need that within our own fan base. So I just wanted to make a quick video around the whole Mohamed Salah situation to share my 2 cents on it. Mohamed Salah has come into Liverpool Football Club and nobody expected him to have the breakthrough season that he had. I remember going on holidays quite a few years back to Turkey, and already he was being spoken about in that part of the world as the Egyptian Messi. And I didn't even know who Salah really was at this point. And then as I watched his career go with Basel, obviously, and then he went over to Italy and did quite well over there, and then came to Liverpool from Roma, and he's just had an absolute burst. He's just exploded onto the world scene, scoring unbelievable goals. But it's okay for me then, a few weeks ago, to say I don't think Salah's looking right at the minute. And I was actually trying to say that I don't think he's looking right for a few reasons. And one of those reasons was he's had no break. He has played an incredible amount of football. And I still think, personally, that he was rushed back for the World Cup, or that he wanted himself to make sure that he could represent his country at the World Cup and came back a bit too soon. So if anything, it's the selfless nature of Mohamed Salah, for me, that has got us into this position where Mohamed Salah looks a little bit jaded. Now, he's in prime physical condition. We've all seen the posts on social media recently, and he looks wonderful. And I also wonder if COVID has had a lasting impact on him. We've seen like Saint-Maximin at Newcastle as an example. Takes him longer to get back. People have questions over the whole Trent situation as well. So it's okay for us to maybe be critical of Mo, because Mo sets himself these really high standards that he holds himself to. And he'd be unhappy if he doesn't hit these targets and these standards. So yes, I understand he's our highest goal scorer. And yes, I understand how good a player he is. But I just want it to be put out there that it's okay to be critical of somebody for a performance or a little run of games without it having to turn to vitriol and absolute hate. Because he is a Liverpool player. And we all love him the same way we love Mane, Van Dijk, Alisson and the rest of the squad. So I guess where I'm getting at with this video is, please just don't divide the two. Mohamed Salah and Liverpool are one at this moment in time. Mohamed Salah and the Egyptian national team are one when he represents them. So please just think of them all as that. There's one family. And then with regards to the contract situation, that intrigues me, to be honest, because it's no secret that Mohamed Salah will probably attract the interest of every club in Europe, all top clubs around the world, Real Madrid, Barcelona, Juventus, whoever it might be. Of course they should be looking at, the same way Liverpool will be looking at Mbappe, or maybe Haaland, or United will be looking at X, Y or Z. Mohamed Salah is in that top tier bracket of world footballers. So that's what makes me wonder what's going on. Is there going to be a pathway for Mohamed Salah out of Liverpool maybe in the next 6 to 18 months? The honest answer for me is that I don't know. But it is interesting to see that they are looking to do Van Dijk and Fabinho's contracts first. I don't know whether they just feel that maybe Mohamed Salah and his recent pay rise, he's probably on a decent level, but they should probably still be looking to extend that, if nothing else, to protect the player's value. So it is interesting when you see journalists out there, very well-respected journalists, saying that the priority for Liverpool is the Fabinho and the Van Dijk stuff. And it's not unusual, by the way, for Liverpool to extend the contracts of players when they are out injured. So the Van Dijk thing didn't actually shock me too much. But I want to know your opinion. What do you think the future holds for Mohamed Salah? Do you see him at Liverpool in the next 6 months? Do you see him maybe moving on in the summer? I think it's okay to have this conversation without getting into taunts and getting into jeers and sneers, because everybody moves on at some point. And he's always struck me as somebody who would like to have another chapter in his career. I would like Mohamed Salah to stay at Liverpool for as long as Mohamed Salah wants to be here, because he has set records and done remarkable things, helped us to a Premier League title, lifted that European Cup after coming back from the heartache of the season before and not being able to complete the final, and we'll always love him. But is there a point that comes where maybe it's the right time for the club with the business model that we have to look at selling him? And again, I'm not suggesting that we sell him. I just think it should be an open and frank conversation that as football fans and grown-ups that we should be able to have. So again, ladies and gentlemen, please do let me know your thoughts on the whole Mohamed Salah sphere, if you want to call it that. Give me your favourite Mohamed Salah moment. If you're from Egypt or you're a Mohamed Salah fan, welcome. It's lovely to have you guys with us. Maybe share your favourite moment in the comments below. But look, ladies and gents, that's it for me. It's it's just a little something that popped into my head, and I said that I'd come on and have a chat with you guys about. So please like the video, hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already, and let me know your comments below. I'll be back soon. Up the Reds.